Hi, my group number 4s. This is Pan 42 Tarot, but you can call me Pan. So, this week's reading is about the Lovers card. It's the 6th card in the Major Arcana, and this is the Lovers card that brought you in today. This is from my Wildwood Tarot deck, which is the card we'll be using today. Well, the cards we'll be using today. The Lovers card talks about love, obviously. But it doesn't just talk about romantic love. It talks about intimacy and interconnected love of God and the universe with all people and all things. So, and it talks about how the love between two people is a reflection of all that love, which is beautiful. So, this reading that I'm going to do for you guys today is 10 cards long. So, I'm just going to pause the video for a little bit while I shuffle and spread out all these many cards. So, I will be right back. Please hold. Okay, group number 4, here is your spread. So, this spread that we are using today is the Lovers spread. It is a tarot spread for all forms of love. So, it will be talking about our blocks and things we need to work on, but it will also be talking about each of the Greek words for love. So there's like family love and selfless love and playful love, all kinds of love. So we're going to talk about each of those kinds of love today. And that's the whole thing. So let's get into it since there's so many cards. So the first card that we have for you guys, this card is the underlying issues that surround you and love. This is what stands in the way of love. What blocks you from giving or receiving love openly? And the card we have for you guys, the card we have for you guys, my group number 4s, is the Ace of Stones. The Ace of Stones, and this card says the foundation of life. The foundation of life. So these cards, this deck in particular, has a lot of different meanings from the regular Rider-Waite-Smith, but it's kind of fun that each of the aces for these cards, each are the foundation, are part of life. So this is the foundation of life. I believe the fire one is the spark of life. So yeah. So this talks about the bedrock of your life. So it feels to me like there's always kind of been an underlying issue with love. It feels like the way we were first shown love by our parents or whoever raised us was flawed in some way. That the love we first received was somehow conditional, somehow not the bedrock that you needed. So the underlying issues of that you face when it comes to love all date way back. It has to do with your foundation. It has to do with how you learned about love and what you were taught about love. And it seems like your guides are like, hey, we gotta like rip up this foundation and start anew with how we perceive love. 'Cause this bedrock that you have is really stopping you from experiencing all forms of love. Whether that means you grew up, let's say you grew up religious and that religion taught you that LGBTQ love was not real love, or you were raised in a neglectful household, so that taught you that love is taking care of myself and just like everything's hard all of the time, and that's what love is. There's a lot of examples of how our bedrock what we were taught about love could be skewed horribly wrong. And this is really hard work to do, to confront our foundation and really examine what we do and don't believe about that bedrock. What remains true for us now as adults and what is no longer true, and we gotta rip up by the roots and throw away because it no longer has a place in our life. This is really tough work. Honestly, I would say do it with a therapist if that's accessible to you. If it's not, there are books out there. Particularly, I read the book What Our Bones Know. That one's really good. What was the other one that I read not long ago? I was right. I said the right title, you guys. All right, yeah, the book What Our Bones Know, or What My Bones Know, by Stephanie Fu is an excellent resource. It's a tough read. I'm not gonna say it's an easy read and it's gonna be full of fluffy, happy things for you, but it was very illuminating for me as a person. And I highly recommend it to anybody else who feels that their bedrock of love was flawed in some way. Yeah. And like, it also doesn't have to be that there was something wrong with our parents or something. It could just be that you really absorbed the messages that society was giving you, and you just really expect love to look a certain way, and it's not looking that way in your life, and you're feeling like maybe something's wrong with you, but really it's just your expectations have changed. Your needs are different than what society says your needs should be. So it's just a need to rip up those old expectations and put down new ones and be like, the way I approach love can look any way I want it to, god damn it. So, same with like relationship ideals and all that. We can make whatever relationship works and is healthy and safe for us. Doesn't have to look like anybody else's. Okay? So, the next card we have for you guys is work. This is what inner work has still to be done in order to open yourself to love more fully, or what has to be done in order to maintain love. And the card that we have for you, my group number 4s, is the Green Man, card number 4 in the major arcanas. The card in this deck this card in this deck is reflective of the Emperor in a normal tarot deck, but it's not one for one. It's pretty close, but not exactly one for one. But this card talks a lot about masculine power, which is very emperor-y, but it also talks about how nature itself has a masculine side to it. That's why there's also a green woman and in this deck, and she's the other half. But this Green Man energy is really about taking charge, taking ownership, taking responsibility for our own shit, for our own path, making our own path, taking the power that is ours and using it responsibly. So I feel like the idea here, the work that needs to be done, the barrier that you face, they're tied together. There's this like need to re-examine our expectations of ourselves and other people and take responsibility of where those came from, and also realize that we have the power to change those ideals within ourselves. We have the power to give ourselves carte blanche and be like, nah, this is what works for us and we're gonna stick with that. And not let anybody tell us that we're weird or wrong for doing it a different way. Taking your power back and being like, no, my way is right too. Nobody has a monopoly on truth or relationships. So you're allowed to do anything you want your way. So taking on that power of being like, I have the power to create the relationships that I want. And believing that about yourself, and then taking action to do those things that you want, to create those relationships that you want. It's a bit scary when you start, but once you start doing it and you start like really giving yourself permission to let your relationships be whatever they're gonna be, it's very freeing because you start to not care what other people think about you because your relationships validate you, which is awesome. So taking on that power. Cool. So let's move on. The next card we have for you is card number 3. This card talks about philautia, which is self-love. It's the Greek word for self-love. It says, how do you perceive yourself? This creates a foundation for all the other cards. What is your relationship to yourself? So, what is our relationship to ourselves? Self-love. And the card we have for you guys is the Ace of Vessels, the waters of life. There you go. Get another life card. Bless you, Magus. Yeah, the waters of life. So this is the Ace of Cups. In this deck, the Ace of Vessels. So I think you relate to yourself as an emotional body, as an emotional person. But I think there's also like this respect you have for yourself of like, I am a nurturing being. I nurture other people as well as myself. I am a cup overflowing. I have so much to give. I have so much to spread and show people, which is really cool. Your relationship with yourself really has led you in some rivers and directions that other people wouldn't have expected. And that's really cool. But there's this respect for yourself that I'm feeling from this card, that I am both a nurturer and a provider of solace to others. You see yourself as a healer, as a giver, as a respecter of those around you, as a nurturer. Just don't forget to nurture yourself. We can't fill other people's cups if our cup is not overflowing. So, and there's also this newness to this idea. It's almost like we have recently discovered or recently accepted that our gift is that we are a nurturer, which is cool. Good job. You discovered that about yourself. That's exciting. Yeah, I think that's all I want to say about that card. So the next card that we have for you guys is card number 4, which is Philia love, which is like Philadelphia, but the affectionate love, brotherly love, the how do you relate platonically to others? What is the state of your friendships? This is friendship love. So the card we have for you guys is the Ace of Arrows. Wow, you guys have so many aces. The breath of life. This is the Ace of Swords in this deck. The breath of life. Wow. So your friends, the friendships you have fostered, maybe that's where you've started to take your power back from these ideas that no longer serve you, is these friends that you have created and made for yourself are ones that breathe life into you. They are the wind beneath your wings. They are the ones that are like, hey, here's a bunch of new ideas, new exciting ideas that you can embrace for yourself. And they're the ones that are like, when you come to them with a new idea, they're like, yeah, that's amazing. You should do that. These are the people that puff you up, blow you out, like push you to go further, be more, which is awesome. Yeah, your friendships are doing great, which is amazing for yourself. This is an amazing area that you have cultivated for yourself. You have made friendships that support you as you support other people, because you see yourself as this nurturer. So you need those people that will breathe into you, like give you the breath to keep going, to nurture others, to continue forward. So that's wonderful. That's excellent. I love it. I think it's also this idea that we give each other ideas. We're always speaking with each other. We are intellectuals. We like to talk. We like to share ideas. It's a very exciting type of friendship. It's a very challenging type of friendship at times, but it's one that gives life to both you and your friends, which is lovely. All right, moving on. So the next card we have is card number 5. This is Storch, and this is familiar love. So this is your family. How do you relate to family? What are the common dynamics within your blood or chosen family? And do notice I said blood or chosen. So if you feel that your blood family is not really a part of your life, you can always think about this as your chosen family instead. So here we go. The card we have for you guys is the Knight of Stones. This is the Knight of Pentacles, and it is represented by a horse in this deck. He does look more like a donkey to me than a horse, but whatever. So, the Knight of Stones, or the Knight of Pentacles, is the Knight of steadiness, steadfastness. We do things the same way every time. There's tradition in this family. We're the slowest knight. The slowest to change. It feels like if you're somebody who's struggling with the foundations you grew up in, it feels like your family, the relationships you have in your family are slow to change, slow to move forward. They're like a bucking bronco. They don't want new ideas. We're very stuck in our ways. We're stuck in how we think about stuff. And we just would rather stay here, please. And if you find yourself as somebody who is struggling against past ideas, this might be frustrating for you because you feel so like you've found so much freedom and joy in these new ideas and new ways of being, and you want your family to experience these new ways of being and new things as well. And it's frustrating when they don't just jump on board with you, you know? It's a tough thing to experience because we want everybody to feel the way we do. But I think this is your guides being like, it's okay. They are allowed to be slow. They are moving forward, even if it is at a much slower pace than perhaps you would enjoy. And there's also this message of like, don't ride a bucking bronco. Like, if they're bucking you off because they don't like your ideals or ideas anymore, don't ride them. Like, you are allowed to say no. We're allowed to not go to family functions because we don't want to fight about ideas, right? Like, you're allowed to give yourself space from your familial relation. You are. So, approach with caution is kind of the message that I'm getting here about familial love. It's there. It's just slow and ponderous. I totally relate to you guys. So, the next card we have for you guys, this card is Eros. This is romantic love. How do you relate to a romantic partner? If you have a partner, how would you describe your relationship? And if you're single, how would you relate to the idea of a partner? So, the card we have for you guys, my group number 4s, is the 8 of Arrows, struggle. Ooh. Okay. If we're single, we're having a hard time finding somebody. I get that. If we're in a relationship, we're finding a hard time maintaining this relationship. We're having a hard time connecting. We're feeling like every step forward is difficult. Every path is wrought with arrows. Yeah. It's this feeling of, I am trying so hard all of the time. Why is it so hard? I get it. I don't know if there's really... Okay, so what I can say though is in this image, there's still the lantern, right? There's still this light. There's still this hope. There's still light. It's not all dark. It's not all destruction. There's still a light. We still have a staff. We're still moving forward, even though it's a struggle. And I know that when you're in struggle, when you're single or when you're in a relationship, it is hard. It is hard to see. It is hard to not give up. It is hard to keep going. But it's that hope of light, of love that keeps us going, keeps us trying. And your guides are here saying, you are moving forward. It might feel like 1 step forward, 3 steps back, but you are getting there. You are doing the thing. You are trying, and you're getting movement. So don't give up. Don't give up yet. Okay? So the next card we have for you is Pragma. This is enduring love. How do you feel about commitment? And the card we have for you guys is the 10 of Bows, responsibility. Yeah. The importance and gravity of commitment is not lost on you. You understand that commitment is a responsibility. It is taking on a whole other person into your existence. And it might be intimidating. It might be intimidating. This card normally talks about having too many things in our life, having too much burden on ourselves. But in this card, it more talks about how we take on a lot of things because we care, because we love, because we have a responsibility to people and someone. So you understand that commitment is responsibility. It is taking on another person and loving them through thick and thin and all the things. And you're not wrong. That is right. That is honestly the way to think about commitment. It is a responsibility. It is not something to be taken lightly. It is something to be thought through and fully understood when entering into a committed relationship. So good job. But it's also like a reminder that it's not all arduous. Like the image at the top of the hill here is of a beautiful village with a fire of warmth and a community. So yes, it's a responsibility, but it's a responsibility to somebody you really care about and a community and family and love. Like, it's a responsibility and it's going to take time and effort, but that time and effort reaps goodness. Hello, Magus. Oh, we're going to come on the table, huh? Okay. Magus really likes your reading. Excuse me, sir. You're going to light your tail on fire. Thank you. You cannot. Here, you can go on the chair behind me, okay? There you go. So sorry. Magus is out of his mind. So, let's move on, shall we? So the next card we have for you guys is Ludus. This is playful love. This is like flirtatious, dating. This is also like inner child excitement type love. This is, how do you feel about dating? How do you flirt? How do you let out your inner child? What is puppy love to you? And the card we have for you guys is, bless you, Magus, the Four of Stones, protection. Oh, look at that little baby deer. Four of Stones, protection. Wow, bless you. So I have this feeling that flirting and letting out our inner child is something we do when we feel safe. This is something you do when you feel totally safe and protected with somebody. Maybe because of this rotten foundation that we have. We try to protect our inner child, and because of that, okay, sorry, group number 4 is continuing on with your reading. The next card that I have for you guys is, oh, actually, you know what? I didn't really finish talking about this one. So, this card is your playful love, and it says it's the Four of Stones, protection. Your playful, flirtatious love is something that you hold on to very dearly. It's something that you protect. It's something you keep hidden quite a lot, because we have those inner child wounds from our foundation, and like, that's not wrong. Like, there's a reason you do that, and there's a reason we keep our inner child safe, but there does seem to need to be some healing around it. I'm not saying take away your protections. I'm not saying that at all. Please do not read that. What I am saying, though, is maybe some work with a professional to heal these wounds would be a good idea. And also remembering that you do have safe people. You do have safe people who you can let that inner child out with, who you can express yourself in a flirtatious and fun and silly way. And it will be safe. It will be good for you. So find those safe people, practice letting out the inner child with those people, and take care of yourself. Okay? Okay. So let's move on to the last 2 cards. The next card that I have for you guys is card number 9. This card talks about mania, which is obsessive love. When does your love go overboard? Excuse me. When have you caused harm with your love? So, the card we have for you guys by group number 4s is the Five of Bows, empowerment. The Five of Bows, empowerment. So I have this feeling that on the journey that we've been on to find ourselves, to find safe places for ourselves, and to heal our inner wounds from our foundation, there may have been times where, in the pursuit of our own empowerment, our own enlightenment, we have pushed others aside, being like, you're wrong, it's this, or like thinking we have a monopoly on truth, which we don't, or or taking things that were never meant to be offenses or never meant to be attacks as offenses or attacks. Our love for ourselves has probably looked like defensiveness in the past. It's looked like I have to pick a fight with you to prove that I'm right because I know I'm right, and people have gaslit me my whole life to believe I'm not right, but I am right. There's that energy here of like sometimes we go overboard in our defense of ourselves, causing others to get hurt along the way because we are trying to defend our broken inner child. And you're not broken, you're healing. So, there's this idea that in our pursuit of our own empowerment, we have perhaps stepped on some toes, we have perhaps crossed some boundaries, and we're learning, right? And that's kind of the whole thing, is that as we are rebuilding, we have to relearn a lot of stuff. Perhaps some traditions that were in our family were kind of hurtful. So we got to relearn those things to try and become better. So it's a process, and I'm not excusing the behavior of hurting someone in the process, but I'm saying it's likely to happen. Not excusing it though. You should take full responsibility if you hurt somebody along the way. But also forgive yourself for this, because it's a thing that we do as humans. So, yeah. In defense of ourselves, we have hurt other people. And that is a natural reaction from being hurt in the past. But it is something we can grow past. Okay? Okay. So, our last card is agape. This is selfless love. How do you express selfless love? What do you give to others freely without expecting anything in return? And the card that we have for you guys, focus. Okay, the card we have for you, my group number 4s, is the 7 of Stones, or the 7 of Pentacles, healing. Yeah. Oh, we actually said this right at the beginning, that you see yourself as a nurturer, as a healer, as somebody who gives sustenance to other people. And maybe you feel like it's a calling in your life. Maybe you feel like that's your spiritual path, that's your purpose in this world. And that's beautiful. That is a beautiful gift to give others. And as well to receive yourself. Like, remember to allow yourself to receive healing as well. Because there's this like joke among like therapists and things that like they're the wounded healers. Remember that the healers need healing sometimes too. So enable yourself, allow yourself to receive that healing as well, because you give it so freely to others. That's beautiful. Okay. The last thing I'm going to do for you guys, my group number 4s, is I have my new Affirmators Love and Relationships deck. And I am just going to get you 2 cards from this deck. And that will be your reading. I'm sorry it was so long. We haven't done a super long one in a while, so I hope this satisfies your desires. So, can we get 2 cards for my group number 4s on this path of healing? Oh, that one wants to come out. 1. This one. Okay. So, your last two cards, I'm going to show you the front. They're so cute. Look how cute they are. It's Rainbow Narwhal. I love it. Okay, so the two cards we got for you guys are Harmony. I'm going to read them, don't worry. And Self-Worth. Sounds about right. So, let me read these. Okay. Harmony. I know in my heart. Let me try again. Harmony. I know in my heart that when something is right, it feels easy breezy, even though that sounds cheesy. With this in mind, I banish all stress, insecurity, and tedious work from my relationships. When I invite harmonious relationships into my life and let them show up in their own time, easy breezy things are rarely functional. That makes sense. And last but not least, the card Self-Worth. I cast off all concerns about what people think of me. I know I'm a totally kick-ass person, and my kick-assness can never be diminished by rejection, so people can think what they think and feel what they feel. In the meantime, I'll just keep knowing what I know without thinking about what they are thinking about what I already know. I think. Well, that is your reading, my group number 4s. Thank you so much for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe because that helps me out so much on this channel. I hope you guys have a blessed everything, and I will see you all on the next reading. This was Pan. Bye, you guys.